Hello, ladies and gents. We're kicking off our last summit session of the day 2. I'm super excited that you're here. This is going to be a great session. We are talking all things marketing with Amanda C. Watts. I'm going to go through the housekeeping just one more time. If this is your first session, if this is your first of the 27, welcome. We're so glad you're here. If this is your 6th or 10th or 15th, let me know in the chat how many of these sessions you've been on so far. And we'll kick straight off. You're at the Growth Club Summit. We're talking all things workflow, AI, compliance, pricing, and in particularly on this session, we are talking marketing. A few quick housekeeping. The chat is on, so you can type it in right now. You can turn the volume up if you need to as well. All of the sessions are recorded and transcribed by the team at Vinyl. You'll get access to transcripts and everything post this session being live. This session comes with 1 CPD point, thanks to the team at AccrediWise. We'll have details on how to collect that in the coming days. And your final chance to win $500 right now is just to tag the firm on LinkedIn with the hashtag Growth Club. Tell me the lesson you're learning from this session and you'll get a bonus point for that as well. Big thank you to our partners. Thank you to Intuit QuickBooks. Can't do this without the team and the backing and support to bring these things together. Huge thank you to all the vendors, suppliers, partners that have got involved for this summit. They've been sharing some amazing things over the last couple of days, and I hope you've really enjoyed that. And kicking on in, we're going to get straight into this session. This is marketing that attracts high-value clients and repels the wrong ones. Amanda is fantastic. We caught up earlier in the week to go through the content for this session. And you're about to unfold a whole bunch on how to build a brand that matters, a brand and the branding that you want. How do you want your brand to come across to your clients? So without spoiling it, I'm going to let Amanda take over because she's amazing. Amanda, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to hand over to you and let you start sharing and talking us through the session. I'll let you take it away. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Trent. I'm really excited to be diving into this subject with you guys and girls. It is something that's very close to my heart. So we're going to be talking about marketing that attracts premium clients. Now, some of you might know who I am. Some of you might be completely new to me. So I'm going to give you a very 2-second overview. I'm not here to pitch. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of who I am. So my name is Amanda C. Watts, and I specialize in helping accountants and bookkeepers to move from low value compliance work into compliance plus advisory or more advisory led firm. And I've been doing this for about 15 years. My background is very much in marketing and sales and helping people uncover their value and be able to share their expertise, their education, who they are as a person, so that other people see their value as well. So that's what we're going to be diving into today, because we have to ensure that we know why we're great so that we get the great clients. It's as simple as that. Now, I've worked with over 1,000 accountants and bookkeeping clients and helped them position, package and promote themselves. And I'm going to be helping you today. So thank you so much for having me, Trent, and thank you for hanging with me, those of you who are watching today. So if you are tired of being the best kept secret or feel like you have to convince your clients of your value, then you are in the right place watching this today. The real problem, though, isn't your pricing. You might have gone, oh my gosh, I need to increase my prices. But actually, we can't increase our prices unless we have positioned ourselves in a way where we can justify that price increase. At the moment, you're seen as just the accountant. And really sadly, and it is sad, people already have a perceived idea of who an accountant is or who a bookkeeper is or who a CPA is. But actually, you are the engine behind your client's growth. And what we have to do is be able to articulate that to your clients so that you attract those premium ones. And I'm going to be breaking down how to do that for you today. When I speak to my thousands of accountants and bookkeepers, and I work with very, very many of them, they're overworked and underpaid. And what they really need is higher profits and fewer clients. So there's a few problems. First of all, you guys, and I don't mean this in a really negative way, but you can't see your value. You have been trained to do the accounting work, do the bookkeeping, be the CPA, and you don't realize that you're sitting on this massive mountain of value and you don't know how to articulate your difference. The other thing as well is your clients don't know your value because you are keeping it the best kept secret, right? So that means that there is a credibility gap, and you're trusted for the technical work that you do. You're trusted for that compliance work, but you're not getting paid for strategic advice, and you're not getting paid the money that you should be getting paid because of your expertise and your experience. And then finally, like, this all sounds great, Amanda, but how do I implement this? Well, you're stretched too thin, aren't you? You have scaled for revenue, but you haven't scaled for freedom. So as I said, you're overworked and underpaid. Now, what I would like to do is just show that this isn't your fault. What we're doing is we are repeating what we have done for years and years and years, what your peers have done previously to you. And what we've created is a profitless hamster wheel where you're just working and working and working. But you do want a shift. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today, because having spoken to so many of you, I know that there are things that you would much rather have. So the first thing is you would like to have value confidence. So that's where you wake up every single day going, oh my God, I'm awesome, right? How many of you, let me know in the chat box, right? How many of you are actually showing up with confidence, knowing your worth, are able to speak it clearly and own your space? All right, let me know. Do you feel like you are a 10 out of 10 and you absolutely know your value confidence? Or do you think that you're more of a 3 or a 4? Now, when I speak to my potential clients and they become a client with me, they're normally around a 3 or 4, understanding their value. All right, so we need to get clear on your value so that you can know your worth and speak it clearly. The next thing is about premium clients. So this is what we're talking about today, and I'm going to be sharing and going deep on how to get these premium clients. But what we need to do is change your practice from being what I call a monster practice, which is thousands of clients, but also not paying you very much money. We want to actually go fewer clients, but higher fees. And we don't want to be chasing for clients. We don't want to be relying on word of mouth that attracts the negative clients, the clients that drain the life out of you. I call them vampire clients. We don't want to chase for clients. We don't want to convince. We actually want clients just to kind of flow to us, right? And then finally, as I said, you're overworked. We want to get down to 10 hours a week in client delivery. Now, this might sound, or especially like 2-3 years ago, this might have sounded a little bit like a bit cuckoo out there going, how can I just be in client delivery for 10 hours a week? But actually now, because digital is here, AI is here, all of the tools and the support that you can get, it is not that difficult to scale an accounting, bookkeeping, CFO, CPA firm and have less time in delivery, much bigger profits, and a business that is actually built around your life, not built around your business. Because, you know, all of us want to have a business to fuel our life. We don't want to have a business because we want to wake up at 7 o'clock every day and we want to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night without seeing our family, right? That's not what we want. We want to actually have a life, okay? So there are a few things that we do to ensure that we get the higher profits with fewer clients. The key to it is making sure that we have the premium clients. And I'm just going to unpack a little bit for you the different things that you need to be focusing on, but we're going to go deep on one of them today. So the first thing that you need to do is have something called the productized process. This is about you uncovering your value. So you can't sell what you can't explain. So what we have to do is get very clear on who's an ideal client. We call it a niche, right? But when we talk about niching, we're niching on the client, or we're niching on the mindset of the client, or the transformation that the client is looking for. It doesn't necessarily have to be a vertical niche, which is an industry niche. Okay, so please don't be scared about niching, but we do have to understand our ideal clients' problems, their fears, their frustrations, what they want, their aspirations. We can't go and get clients like this if we don't understand clients like this. So that's why it's so important. Then what we have to do is we have to extract your genius, and your genius consists of your education, your expertise, and the essence of you. So when you are prescribing yourself as an accountant or a bookkeeper, people just put you in a box. So we have to take you out of that box, and we have to sprinkle your own magic on top of that. And the way that we do that is we uncover all of the things that are unique about you, and we turn it into a signature methodology. And that is part of the productized process. Right, the next thing that we have to do is actually, once we've uncovered that value, we have to amplify your network. So we have to stop you from hiding behind your qualifications and help you show up as this great value provider. And we have to build your visibility organically. We have to have a message that stands out, and we have to start conversations with people. This takes you from being the invisible accountant to someone where people go, ooh, that sounds interesting. Like that sounds really cool. Can you tell me more about this? And if you aren't having these great clients lean in and say, hey, can you tell me more about this? You're really going to struggle to get those premium clients because you're going to be seen the same as everybody else. Right, what I'm going to go deeper on today is the authority accelerator. This is really key to help you get premium clients, but I'm just going to show you a few more things and then we'll come back to this in a moment, okay? But what I would like you to understand is premium buyers don't want generic advice. What you need to do is actually position yourself as this expert, and we do it through publishing thought leadership books, through showcasing your IP, which is your intellectual property, which is the bit that we've downloaded in the productized process. And we need to build trust at scale. Like I said, the key thing is higher profits, fewer clients, and 10 hours a week in client delivery. So what we do with the authority accelerator is we take you from sounding like everybody else, and then we have you position yourself as the one that they trust before they buy. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Right. Then what we have to do, once we have attracted those premium clients towards us, we have to have something called the champagne close. And we don't want to be begging for clients. We don't want to say, hey, should I discount? I had a client yesterday on our Q&A call, and she was like, oh, I was thinking of going to my current clients and giving them a discount. No, we don't want to be discounting. The very high end, the premium luxury brands never ever discount. What you find is you get knockoffs that aren't as good, but you never see the luxury brands discount. And that's where you need to position yourself, okay? So you don't want to be begging for clients. You need to pre-frame your value. You need to share your offer so that people understand it. So I like to have modeled offers and frameworked offers, and you need to close with confidence and grace. And let me know in the chat box, would it be wonderful if your ideal clients came to you and went, oh my gosh, I really want to work with you. And they do not say that awful word, which is, how much is it going to cost? Because that is what they say, right? That's what, when you offer accounting and bookkeeping, a majority of the time, people say, can you do a discount? Or how much is that going to cost? All right. So we go from hoping that they're going to buy your advisory to a very easy yes. Right. Then what we need to do is make sure that we are in 10 hours a week client delivery. And we can't do that if everything that you do with your clients is a custom project. And if you might feel like you're giving your clients more value by doing custom projects, but actually what you're doing is you're winging it every single time and it's sucking the life out of you. So what we have to do is design a repeatable delivery experience. We have to make sure that all the client touch points are automated, and we need to really focus on reducing your delivery hours, but at the same time, increasing the impact that you are giving your clients. So we take you from custom chaos to repeatable success. And I can guarantee that you would love to go away from custom chaos and repeatable success. All right. And then the final thing that we have to do, and this is essential for you, not so much for attracting the premium clients, but this is essential for you if you want to get your hours down to 10 hours a week in client delivery. And that is the leveraged game plan. So you don't need more clients. You need more leverage. You really do. So what we have to do is we have to repurpose your intellectual property into scalable assets. And we do that by getting clear on the productization process and then uncovering all of that and turning it into frameworks and models and something that your team can do as well as you. We also have to build referral engines. I am not anti-referral, okay? There's a lot of marketers out there who are like, you can't rely on referrals. You can rely on referrals if you're getting referred the right clients, right? The premium clients. So we build referral engines and we grow without you having to grow a massive team. That's the key thing that we do. So we go from more work to more revenue. Sorry, we go from having too much work and too much revenue to more assets and more freedom, keeping your revenue there, but your profits massively increase. That's the key thing. Right. as I promised you today, we're going to be talking about how to build authority. Premium clients need to see you as the expert. And I'm going to be sharing with you how to show up and how to actually display that. Now, a premium client is someone who actually prioritizes buying decisions beyond just the cost. That's what I'm talking about today. Someone who doesn't really mind what they pay you, as long as they get great customer service, they have something that's transformational to their life, and they're working with someone that understands their problems and has a strong brand reputation. You have to have a strong brand reputation if you're going to be asking for more money and working with these premium clients. If you have ever looked at somebody less experienced who gets more attention than you, gets more leads and more sales, this is the strategy that they're using. They are using something called the authority accelerator, and they stop themselves from blending in, and they make loads of noise online. And even if they're not as expert as you are, you will find that they'll get the clients. And you're sat there, and I bet you might even say to your husband or your wife or your peers, like, it's so frustrating, they're doing so well and they're so rubbish, right? And that's because they have smashed this bit that I'm sharing with you today. Okay, this is really a key takeaway. You don't get paid what you're worth. You can be the best. You get paid what people perceive you're worth. Okay, so you might be amazing. You should be getting those premium clients. But because nobody understands your value and how you can help them, they do not see you as someone that they want to invest in. They see you as just the accountant or just the bookkeeper, and they question you on price. Okay, now you can see here I've got an image of Rolex. Rolex has great watches, right? But they're classed as the market leader because of the way that they position themselves, and they establish authority by controlling people's perception. If you have a look at the main wording here, a Rolex will never change the world. We leave that to the people who wear them. So immediately when you see that advert, you're like, ooh, if you're the kind of person that wants to change the world, that means that you need to wear a Rolex at the same time, right? It's automatically, you resonate if you're the kind of person that wants to make a difference in the world. So the authority accelerator consists of three things, and I'm going to be diving into those with you right now. If you want premium clients, you need one powerful message spoken to the right market and through the best medium for trust. Okay, and by the best medium, it's like, where do we go and do our marketing? Because that's what today is all about, right? Marketing to attract those premium clients. So where do we go to ensure that we get those premium clients? Well, we have to have the right message first in the right market. So the message is what you say. Now, your message isn't your offer. I know at the beginning we productize your methodology, but actually what we have to do for you to have the right message is we have to have you believe in yourself. And as I said, you have expertise blindness, and I'm saying that with absolute love. If you don't realize you're great, then nobody else is going to realize you're great. And there is a saying that says the first sale you have to make is to yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, then your premium clients that you want to attract are not going to believe in you. Okay, so your belief system has to be uncovered, and you have to answer questions like, what do you stand against in your industry? What truth are you willing to say out loud? That is what gets attention. And you will see, if you go onto LinkedIn, if you go onto Facebook, there are certain accountants and bookkeepers in this world that are out there being very opinionated and building authority and trust. We want your message to have the right people lean in and go, oh, that's interesting. And the wrong people go, I'm not interested in anything that you have to say. So my message to you today is marketing to get premium clients. The right people are going, ooh, this is interesting. And the wrong people are going, I'm not showing up to Amanda's session today. Okay, simple as that. So your message is what you say. And if you think about Rolexes, and I'm just going to take this through this process so you can really start to shift your mind as we go through this. If you think about Rolex's brand message, it's about prestige and success. If we go back to that advert, it's they're not here to change the world, but they're here to support the people that are. And it's aspirational as well. It's positioned as the reward for ambition. It's something to earn, not just something to buy. So when you're thinking about where you want to position your practice, is it something that is accessible to absolutely everyone? Anyone can buy it, you take on any clients? Or do you have a red velvet rope policy where you have this rope where people have to actually be invited in? And that all is about your marketing and how you show up. Next, we have to look at the market. It's who you say it to. So you don't need a big audience. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of these potential premium clients reaching out to you. You actually just need a clear audience, a tribe, a group of people that get you and want to be in your world. You are not here for clicks. You're here for clients. And I will have lots of people come to me and go, nobody comments on my LinkedIn, Amanda. Nobody does this. Nobody does that. I'm not very visible. I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers. And it's like, actually, that doesn't matter. If you go to my LinkedIn, you will see that I post regularly. Every single client comes to me and says, I've been following you on LinkedIn for 3-4 years or more. Okay, so I've built a relationship with them. The people who buy from me never comment or click on my LinkedIn. They do once they become a client, but they didn't before. So you have to remember that it's not about the comments and it's not about the clicks. It's about how do you get the clients. And premium clients don't want to watch you dance on Instagram or be on TikTok. They want to know that you have clarity about your value and they have clarity about your value. They need to trust you and they need proof that you are awesome. And if your message isn't standing out for them, you're just creating noise. So if you have a look again, I'm going back to Rolex, okay? They target high-income buyers who see Rolex as a symbol of success. So they don't say, hey, a Rolex is for everyone. They don't sell, like, and I'm going to come to how they sell in a minute, but they don't sell through local cheap places online. You won't be able to buy a Rolex on Amazon. You can't buy it online. Okay, they want you to, when you buy your Rolex, they want you to have a great experience. They work with these leaders and athletes and celebrities, so they have to create and curate this great experience for them. Now, you're only going to get premium clients if you position yourself as a premium brand. You can't be a basic brand and expect premium clients. So a lot of what you're going to be working on is your positioning, because if you don't work on your positioning, you're not going to get the better clients. I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to just throw out absolute rubbish online. You're not going to have a wishy-washy brand and have those premium clients come to you. Then what we're talking about is the medium, and this is where you show up. What are the platforms that you're going to be showing up on? And not all platforms build authority. So what we have to do is choose depth over dopamine. I want you to think about it, right? When you're listening to a podcast or you're on YouTube watching someone, or you're reading a nice long email, or you're having a deep dive into a book. So one of my books is The Pioneering Practice, right? So you can have a really good 3 or 4 hours spending time with me. This is what we call long form content. And all of this kind of content builds trust. It doesn't make you go, oh, I've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views on my reels, which is the opposite. That's short form content. This is long form content, and people will spend time with you and build trust with you when they are deep diving into your long form content. Okay, people need to binge your brilliance, and the reason why we have to uncover your brilliance at the beginning, because you feel like you don't know what your brilliance is, we have to uncover that so we can then turn that into all of this long form content. And if we have a look at Rolex, for example, they do aspirational advertising. So they have ads in luxury magazines, like yachting magazines, high society publications. They know where their ideal client is. So they're not hanging out on TikTok dancing around going, hey, look at my watch, buy my watch. They're not doing any of that, right? It's all about elite partnerships, which is a brilliant way to get premium clients, right? Elite partnerships and exclusive sponsorships. So if you're wanting to get those premium clients, think about who else markets to your premium clients and how can you do a partnership with them. That's another great way to go out and get the premium clients. I want to share with you my friend Michael Serwer, absolutely brilliant guy. I've known him since 2013, and he actually markets himself as the highest paid business coach here in the UK. Right? And if you have a look at this wording, hopefully you can see it. He says, my personality and coaching style can be too much for some people, and that's okay because I'm not a coach for most people. My clients are winners. They're already successful or on their way. I am to them what sports coaches are to athletes, and they're the equivalent of pro athletes. So can you see how he's showing up, and what he is saying about himself is showing up in a way that is marketing to those premium clients? Now, this gentleman is your competitor. If you want to get premium clients, you need to be showing up and getting the business advisory clients, which is the same as business coaching. Whether you like it or not, business coaches are your ideal competitors, okay? They are the people who are stealing your advisory clients. Now, Michael is out there stealing your advisory clients, the premium ones, by using this language. He's the first choice for CEOs, high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs, executives, doctors, lawyers. You would love to work with all of them, but you are not marketing to them. And if you have a look at on the left-hand side is his Instagram. Now, that contradicts slightly what I say about doing long form content, but all he does is post a picture. He's not dancing on reels. So if you go to his Instagram, this is what his Instagram looks like. And that picture on the bottom right hand side, he even lives in Savile Row. Doesn't have a massive place, doesn't cost him a huge amount of money, but that picture on the bottom right hand side is a picture of him taking a picture from his balcony with all the beautiful cars of Savile Row here in London. And if any of you know what that's like, it's the most affluent area here in London, okay? And he lives there. So he's positioning himself to sit alongside with those high net worth individuals, okay? And then have a look at his LinkedIn, and it says, coach for the elite since 2011, radical transformations, no bullshit, posting daily to expand your thinking and elevate your life. So that is clear, very clear brand. And that's what you need to have. And I will say that you will look like everybody else. Nobody looks like Michael. So what changes when you build this authority and you start to show up as a premium provider and get those premium clients? Well, sales calls shift from pitching to choosing. You attract those better fit clients and you charge more, you do less, and you become really well known. And you get the referrals, but the referrals are very different. So authority is built by showing me how great you are. So it's not claimed, it's demonstrated. And Michael shows how great he is by telling people, I am great, and then demonstrating that. So you need to share your knowledge and your expertise. And that is why long form is the answer and not dancing on reels. The brain is wired to associate depth with expertise. So if you read my book, this one, I've got a few of them, but if you read that book, right, you would go, oh, Amanda's an expert in that. Length means that we've got something good to say. So that's legitimacy. And then consistency, showing up all the time and doing long form content makes you look credible. The moment you give up doing this content, you break trust, and then your credibility goes out the window. So why long form? Well, when someone gives you their attention for 10 minutes or more, whether it be on a podcast, in a book, through a webinar like today, like I'm hanging out with you guys today, I'm building a relationship with you. Whether or not this is the first time you've seen me and you've got to know me, or if you've been following me for years, I am just building a relationship with you. That relationship is then taken along a journey, and at some point you will buy from me and we will work together, and there will be high trust because I haven't sold you on price, I've sold you on proof that I can do what I say I can do. And when you can articulate somebody's problem better than they can articulate it themselves, and they actually go, oh my gosh, like you get me, then they trust you and then they come to you for the solution. Okay, I love this saying, bingers are buyers. And bingers are people who sit and consume your content. And if they consume 4, 5, 6, 7 podcast episodes, or read your book, or watch your YouTube videos, they are going to buy from you. And what we have to do with our content, if we want to attract those high value clients, we have to show up and create our own version of Netflix. So if you think about it, if I said to you, I want you to watch this 3-hour video, you would be like, oh, that's a lot. I actually can't do 3 hours. I don't have time. But if I said to you, hey, watch Yellowstone, which is absolutely brilliant, watch Yellowstone on Netflix. It's a really great series. I can guarantee you'll watch the first one, which is 45 minutes, and then you'll really enjoy that. So you'll watch the next one, another 45 minutes, and then another one. And all of a sudden, 5 hours will have passed and you will have binge watched this series, okay? So what we have to do is create a series that we have our clients binge watch, because that's when they become buyers and they become advocates and they trust you. So what we don't want to do is create stuff that's so long that it puts people off. We want people to be able to binge. And if I go back and show you here on the Business Advisor podcast, which is one of the things that I do so that I share my expertise and can educate you and help you, the length of these podcasts is anywhere between 12 minutes and 22 minutes. So when I have bingers and they sit and they listen in their car and they just binge on all of my content, and then they reach out to me on LinkedIn and go, hey, Amanda, how can I work with you, right? Bingers are buyers. So what we want to do is something called the exposure effect. The longer someone spends with you, the more they're going to trust you. And what you can see here is my YouTube channel. And you can see again, they're short videos, because on YouTube, we don't necessarily want you to sit there for 3 hours because it's exhausting. I actually was watching a 3-hour video during my holidays, but because it was 3 hours, I watched like an hour on the plane and then another 20 minutes. So I kept having to go back to it. So there's a really nice sweet spot of between sort of 10 minutes and 30 minutes for someone to watch on YouTube. Now, what we need to understand is that reels are seconds, and for people to binge reels is really difficult. Podcast videos and books are hours of binging. If you think how long it would take for you to get an hour of reels, I know that we do it, right? But we're not actually consuming anything of value when we're looking at reels. So I want you to think about how people interact with things like podcasts and videos and all that kind of thing, right? So listeners spend an average of 7 hours a week with podcasts. If that's your podcast and they're spending 7 hours with you, you are showing them that you are well educated, you have great experience, and you're showing them your personality and your thinking, right? Compare that to Reels and TikToks, where on the average watch time is around 17 to 30 seconds per TikTok. How can you get a message? How can you show that you're credible in 17 to 30 seconds? If you were watching a TikTok on this message, you'd be like, flip, next, next, next. You are actually sitting here with me for half an hour, 40 minutes, going through this. And at the end of it, you'll be like, that's a really interesting subject. Okay, you will take on board what I'm saying, and you'll either agree with me or you won't agree with me. But as I said, the right people lean in, and the wrong people who aren't your people will just carry on. Okay, so if you think from a trust building perspective, podcast is 7 hours a week, reels, blink and you miss it. I can guarantee you will have looked at reels this morning and you have no idea what you looked at. You will remember this webinar. Simple as that. Short form also has a hidden cost, right? It's built for dopamine, not for decisions. So when we turn to Instagram, when I bring up my phone, I'm sat on it, I'm escaping. I want 2 minutes peace, right? So I will work and then I'll go and put the kettle on. While the kettle's on, I might sit on Instagram for 2 minutes. I'm not there looking anything up. I'm there to take myself away from what I'm doing with my work or when things are stressing me out. We do Instagram and TikTok to escape our problems, not to seek solutions to them. We go to YouTube, we go to podcasts, we go to books to seek solutions. Okay, so premium buyers from you want trust signals. Okay, you need to go, I've thought deeply about this. That's what you need to share. And a podcast says, others trust me to lead. And a case study says, here's the proof of everything. So we have something called authority bias, and this is where people are more likely to follow advice from someone who looks like an expert and the long form actually builds that expertise and the way that looks. If you think about Michael that I showed you a moment ago, he is there to say, hey, I'm an expert, follow my advice. And if you did look him up online, if you want to look him up online, you will see that he is featured in very high-end magazines. You will find Michael sat next to a Rolex advert. He has purposely placed himself there. All right. And like I do, right? My premium buyers, I want premium buyers. I want people who want to move from compliance into advisory. So I have my business advisor playbook, and then I have my YouTube channel, and I have the podcast for people to binge. So you've got accountant or bookkeeper A, right? They post quick tips on Instagram. They make Canva carousel content. And then if they're lucky, because it probably doesn't happen very often, you get DMs like, what do you charge? Alternatively, you've got accountant bookkeeper B, and they write deep articles on LinkedIn. They host a weekly podcast and get referrals with, you have to speak to them. And accountant B is what I work on with my clients, and they have great opportunities. They have speaking opportunities. They have great clients come to them that are happy to pay them $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or more a month for their services. And that's because they have shown their expertise before they've asked for that money. This is how premium products are sold, right? Short form marketing sells low friction services. cheap compliance. Long form sells high trust services, strategic advisory retainers, try saying that without your teeth in, and fractional CFO work. All right. So what I've covered with you today is how to get the higher profits, fewer clients. We want the fewer clients because we want the premium clients. And I've gone through some ideas around the Authority Accelerator. You will be able to find out more about this if you go to my book. amandasnewbook.com is the book. And in that, I share how to attract premium clients. And you can also go and binge on my podcast, the Business Advisor podcast. You can go and have a look at the website, Business Advisor academy.com website, and just go and binge my stuff, have a look at it, and all of it is educating you how to get those premium clients. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I've really enjoyed it. Let me know your biggest takeaway in the chat box, like what's been an aha moment or a takeaway from today. And if you want to find out more about what I do, then just go check me out on LinkedIn, Amanda C. Watts on LinkedIn, or reach out to Trent or one of the guys and they'll point you in the right direction. Thank you so much. And yeah, let me have the takeaways in the chat box so I know what you got from today.
Amanda, thank you so much. That was awesome. As a newly self-professed Rolex fan, you had my attention the whole way through. I don't own a Rolex, but I really want one. And that's tough because they're so expensive. But that was amazing. I love all of your lessons in there. And I'm sure everyone can get a lot of takeaways and actions from that as well. Ladies and gents, that is now officially concluding the Growth Club Summit. If you've been with us for the whole 2 days, thank you so much. I hope you've had such an amazing time. We're super thrilled with all the feedback we've been getting, and I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. Stay tuned. We have a lot of content coming because we've just been able to capture and record everything the last couple of days. Please check us out on our website, check in out and become an email subscriber. We have so many more helpful tips and things coming for the rest of this year. We will send out a post-event survey. I would love any and all of your feedback on how we make these better in the future. But otherwise, if you've got any questions, please reach out and give me a hoy. Otherwise, this concludes the Growth Club Summit. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you all very soon. And yeah, I'm so thankful that you come and hang out with us for a couple of days. It's been awesome. So bye for now. I'll see you later. Have a great time. Chat soon. Bye-bye.